Hi everyone, hello. Hi. How's everyone doing? Hello and welcome. Welcome to another stream. There we go. Okay, hello. Hi everyone. We are back. We're doing another Lego stream today, so a bit different. We're not at the computer today. We're not doing any gaming today. We're going to be doing some Lego building. I'll tell you all about it in just a minute, but we're going to be building a brand new set, the new Game Boy that's just released. I've got it right here. There it is. We'll get to work on that in just a few moments, but we'll give people a minute to join, obviously. Hi Dagger, how you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Nice to see you. Hey Taro Fox, how you doing? I believe Taro Fox is Puddle, formerly known as Puddle. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, we're doing a Lego building stream today. It's been a while since we did one of these. Last time we did a Lego stream, we built the Chrysanthemum, I believe. And we also built the last stream was the Creeper, actually. And you can see I've got the Creeper on I've got some new shelves here. I bought these shelves to match the ones on the back wall there with the insect collection on them. We got some new shelves here, especially for more Lego. And there's the Creeper that we built in the last live stream. There's the Space Shuttle, which you may have seen in my most recent Lego tour video. And the Game Boy, which we're going to build today. That's going to be going right there in the middle, on the middle shelf. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to build it. We're going to be building it. We're going to be putting it on the shelf. And we'll probably do a bit of a room tour as well, just because obviously I've got quite a lot of new Lego around the room in particular. And if you've not seen the Lego tour videos, then you might want to see what's new. Hi, South Devon Contracting. How are you doing? So the plan is, first of all, a bit of backstory about the Lego Game Boy, or about the actual real Game Boy. So I never actually had the original Game Boy as a kid. My uncle had one, so whenever I was around at my aunt and uncle's house, I had a go on it from time to time. But I never personally owned the original Game Boy. I did have a Game Boy Advance. Originally, I had a Game Boy Advance SP. Those were the flip-up ones. I had one of those in cobalt blue. That got left on a train near Skegness when I was about 8. And then later I had the original Game Boy Advance, the one with the thumbsticks at either side, which I think is sort of the standard for most modern handheld consoles, like your PSPs and your Steam Deck and stuff like that. They tend to have the screen in the middle and the thumbsticks at either side. You don't really see handhelds shaped like this anymore, with the screen at the top and the buttons underneath. So it'll be nostalgic anyway. Like I say, even though I've never owned one of these myself, I have used the original Game Boy before, and obviously still quite nostalgic. From what I've heard, it's incredibly accurate. The size is perfect, the details are perfect. Obviously, once we've built it, we'll be able to see a lot better just how accurate it is, but from what I can gather, it's very, very accurate. So I'm looking forward to building it. We're going to get on with that right now. So I'm going to move the phone to a different spot so that you can actually see my desk, and then we'll get this open and we'll start putting it together. Right, I'm going to pop this down here. There we go. And I'll probably better adjust my chair a little bit. There we go. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to open it up. We'll see what it's looking like inside in terms of bags and stuff like that. So if you want to get this set, it costs $54.99, which I think is actually a really good price for a licensed set, especially a Nintendo set. I was expecting this to be like 70 quid or more, but $54.99 for a licensed Nintendo Lego set, I think is a fairly good price. Not the cheapest, but again, you are paying for the brand as well. Paper bags. although there is some plastic in here. Lego still haven't quite gotten rid of their plastic bags. There's still a few plastic bags here and there, but they have mostly switched over to paper now, so most of these are paper bags. And it looks like, oh, there's a sticker sheet in there, let's not forget that. It looks like there's 5 paper bags. Yeah, 5 numbered bags, as well as this plastic bag, which has got a few printed elements in it, and then the manual there. And stickers, there's actually only 2 stickers in the whole set. So if you look at the box, if you look at all the details, like the logo and the text over the screen and stuff like that, all of that is printed. All of these are printed elements. There's only 2 stickers in the entire set, and it's for the game cartridges. There's one for The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and there's one for Super Mario Land. But apart from that, all the other graphical elements are printed, so there's only 2 stickers for you to mess about with. I'm not a big fan of stickers in Lego sets. I always put them on wonky, and I prefer a printed element. I get why they still use stickers. They can't have printed elements for everything because it'd be too expensive to make. But I'm glad that there's only the 2 stickers in this one. I want to get this set, says Morgan. If you want to get the set, unfortunately, you will have to back order it. You actually can't get it right now because it's sold out from Lego anyway. It's sold out on Lego's website, but you can back order it, and I think it's shipping in at the start of November. Or you can, look around in whatever retail outlets near you and see if you can find one. But they're going pretty fast. They're pretty in demand. I pre-ordered this back in August, so I was guaranteed one. But yeah, very very in demand at the moment. Glad I got my hands on one. Let's open up the book and start building, shall we? Okay, so first things first, there's a couple of pages of information about the Game Boy. First of all, this one here, you won't be able to read it because it's mirrored, because my video feed's mirrored. But there's some information about the various parts of the Game Boy, obviously. Then there's a picture of the back, and it seems like to swap out the cartridges, to swap out the lenticular screens, you have to take the back off. It's actually got some lenticular screens in there, which we'll see later when we actually get them out. You probably won't see it very well right now because it's in a plastic bag, but it's a lenticular effect. So when you tilt the element, it changes the picture, which is a really cool way of giving the screen a little bit of animation without having to actually put any electronics in there or anything. But yeah, that's just showing you how to put in the cartridges and swap out the screens. Then there's a picture, just another picture of the assembled Game Boy. Basic set includes 421 pieces, 2 game pack cartridges, 3 lenticular screens, and 0 batteries because it doesn't need them. Here's me thinking it was fully playable, says Big Popper. You'd be surprised, Big Popper. This has only been out for a week, and I've already seen about a dozen different people have actually made this into a working Game Boy. People more intelligent than me. I'm terrible with electronics, but I've already seen a few people actually take these apart and put electronics in them and actually make them work, which is insane. That would be really cool. Again, if I had the expertise for that, it would be really cool to make this into a working Game Boy. But anyway, then we've got a picture of the original Game Boy, some marketing material there for the original Game Boy, and there's a bit of information about the Game Boy. First launched in Japan in 1989. Then on this page, oh wow, this page actually shows you inside the Game Boy. And as you can see, like with a lot of modern Lego sets, the inside is very colourful. Lego tend to do this with sets that have got, especially sets that have got a lot of one single colour on the outside. Lego tend to put as much colour as they can on the inside and then it all gets covered up, and it's going to be it's just going to be a grey block when it's finished, obviously. But that's pretty cool. And it just tells you more information about what's inside again. And then there's the cartridges as well, which is pretty much the same thing. The cartridges look very simple to build, which is good because I can imagine maybe printing off some custom stickers and making some more cartridges from like some other iconic Game Boy games. That'd be pretty cool to do. And then it tells you about the actual games as well. So there's Super Mario Land. It shows you the actual box for the original game. And we obviously have a sticker for Super Mario Land. And then on the next page, the Legend of Zelda, we've also got a sticker for. Again, these are the only two stickers in the box, the Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Land. And it tells you a bit about those games as well. And that's it. That's the prelude out of the way. We are then on to the actual building. So I am going to start moving some of these bags out of the way so we've actually got space to build. 3, 2. Okay, so we're going to start with bag number 1. And it says we also need the lenticular screens out of this plastic bag here. So this is probably a good opportunity for me to actually show you the lenticular screens. These are really not what I was expecting, because these aren't actually Lego bricks. They're very thin sheets of plastic. But again, they're lenticular. So if you look at the birds there on the horizon, they actually move when you tilt the screen. Then we've got another one here. Oh, wait, there's supposed to be 3 of these. Oh, there we go. There's the third one. We got another one here, which I think that's Mario. Yeah, that's Mario, and you can see him actually jump up and down if you tilt the screen. And then finally, there's just a simple Nintendo logo, and that moves up and down when you tilt as well. I think this is a really cool, like I said, I think this is a really cool way to actually animate the screen without having to make it actually electronic. So you can, sort of get the effect of the screen actually moving by having something like this. I love that. Great idea. But that's it. Let's get on with the actual building then. Bag number 1, we're going to open that up now and we're going to start building. They've actually done a good job with this one, says Morgan. I hope so, Morgan. Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't want to judge it yet. I've heard very good things about it, but I don't want to judge it for myself until I've actually seen the result in person, I've just dropped a brick already. 1 second, I'm going to have to go and find that. Oh, what was it? It's only a single black pip, so there's probably going to be a spare of those. Any piece smaller than 2x2 usually has spares. So not the end of the world, but I got it back anyway. Okay, so that's bag number 1 open. Just chuck the rubbish to one side. Clean that up later. We got our brick separator just in case. I've got about 8 of those now. And let's begin the instructions. Looks like we're starting with the cartridges and then building the actual Game Boy itself. And it seems like there's a little stand for the cartridges as well. So obviously you can put the cartridges into the Game Boy, but it only fits one at a time. So they've included a little stand that you can put the spare cartridge on. I'm not sure if both cartridges will fit on the stand. Maybe I could modify it so that they can, because I think it'd look a bit better that way. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try and keep the actual build in frame as well, because what tends to happen in these Lego building streams is you can't actually see me building because I end up like having my hand right over the front of it or something. I'm going to try and make sure you can actually see what I'm building. You might want to hide the chat because at the minute it is right behind the chat. But if you want to actually see the build as I'm building it, you might want to hide the chat. Is that the new set, says Moonpig? It is Moonpig, yes. It's the brand new Lego Nintendo Game Boy set number 72046. We've just started. Literally, this is all we've built so far. Afternoon, Tom. How are you doing? Oh, the box is falling over now. Right. Okay, I'm focusing up. I'm getting down into it now. Here we go. Did you buy it online or did you get it from a Lego store? I bought it online, Tom. The nearest Lego store to me, I live in Doncaster, so the nearest Lego store is Meadowhall. And I do go there. I do visit the Lego store a couple of times a year. But most of my sets I buy online. It's just a bit easier for me, you know, rather than going all the way to my nearest, you know, Lego store, which is quite far away. Most of my stuff I just buy online. Okay, this... Have I messed this up already somehow? Oh, no, it rotates. Oh, okay. Oh, right. So this is supposed to be like a little sleeve to hold the spare lenticular screens. So obviously you can only have one of these on the actual Game Boy at a time. So this is like just a little holder to hold the spare ones, which is quite cool. I like that idea. And then that's that. We put that to one side, and then we're on to building the first cartridge. So you can see there's a lot of dark grey here. So this is all going to be for building the cartridge. Pretty simple, this as well. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably only like 20 pieces. So again, I can imagine making custom cartridges for this because the cartridges themselves seem very simple to build. There's not many, like all the pieces are quite easily available. Something like this might be a little bit harder to find. I can't imagine there's too many sets with that element in. But yeah, most of these pieces seem fairly easy to acquire, so you could quite easily build your own cartridges and, you know, print some custom stickers, make your own, you know, whatever your favorite game is, you know, you could make a cartridge of it. Although you would miss out on the printed element. There is a printed element here which has the Game Boy logo on it. Obviously, it's mirrored on the stream. But yeah, lots of printed elements in this set. There's, like I say, there's only the 2 stickers. Everything else is printed, and the printing is quite good. The printing is, I think it looks all right. I think the printing on that one looks all right. Once it's finished, obviously I'll switch the camera around so you can see it the right way around and not mirrored. Is it a 1-to-1 size? Would a genuine cartridge fit? Yes, Big Popper. It is a 1-to-1 size. It's very, very close to the real size. Like I say, I've already seen a few people, you know, customizing these to make them compatible with real games. And if you've got the technological know-how, you know, all you've got to really do is find a bit of space inside it to squeeze a PCB in there and a screen, and you can, like I say, I've seen people already. The set's only been out a week, and I've seen people already modifying these to take real cartridges and to actually be playable as Game Boys, which is insane. What's your total financial investment into this? I'm not sure what you mean, Big Zoe. If you mean the set was £55, £54.99, which is not a bad price for a branded set like this. It's not the cheapest, but again, for a licensed Nintendo set, that's a pretty good price. Okay, and we got a big flat tile here, which obviously is what the sticker's going to go on. There we go. That snaps into place like so, and I think it's designed so that when you put the cartridge in, it actually like clicks into place. Like it seems, unless that's just a visual thing to look like the bottom of the real cartridge, I don't know if it's just visual or if it'll actually click into place when it's done. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, and then these on the side. And one of these on the top. And that's it. That's the first cartridge built. Obviously, I need to still put the sticker on it, but there it is. Again, it is very accurate to the real thing, very accurate in terms of both scale and visuals. You know, it's very, very close to the real thing. I'm going to put a sticker on it. I think, I mean, it says to put the Mario sticker on it, but I think the other one is exactly the same anyway. So we'll put the Mario one on this one, and I think it's probably going to just tell us to build the same exact thing again, and then put the Zelda sticker on it. But here we go. I'm concentration now because I'm laying down the first sticker, and I'm terrible at putting Lego stickers on. It always goes wrong. Okay. And there we have it. Super Mario Land for the Nintendo Game Boy, but made of Lego. Pretty cool. That is a perfect sticker application as well, if I say so myself. I'm happy with that. Okay. So, oh, right, I see. So the things on the bottom here, you can clip into there's like little hooks on the bottom of the display stand to keep it in place. So you can, there we go. It's got like a little stand to display the cartridge on. Like I said earlier, unfortunately, you can only display one cartridge on this at a time, and there's 2 cartridges in the set. I might modify this so you can have the second cartridge on display, like just behind it, because I think the idea is that you're supposed to have one cartridge in the Game Boy, but if the cartridge is in the Game Boy, you're not going to see it, right? I'd rather have both cartridges out of the Game Boy on display. The display stand built. Oop. Sticker makes it pop for sure. Yeah, the sticker, I think, like I say, I'm happy that there's only 2 stickers in the set, and I think they made the right choice for having the stickers be for the cartridges specifically, because those are by far the most detailed elements, right? That'd be, I mean, to get that printed on a Lego brick would cost a fortune, I imagine. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the decision to make those stickers. Anyway, on to bag 2 already, and we're starting to build the actual Game Boy, it seems. So it hasn't actually told me to build the second cartridge yet. I'm guessing the pieces for the second cartridge are in a different bag, because we've used all the pieces from bag 1 already. Hey, how are you? I'm good, Kat. Thank you. How are you doing? What you building? Says Olivia Jade. We are building the new Lego Game Boy 72046. We've just built one of the cartridges, Super Mario Land, and we're now starting the actual Game Boy itself. Okay, there's a bag inside this bag. Don't want to lose any pieces on the floor this time. The stickers are true to the cartridges too, so they make sense being stick. That is a very good point, Big Popper. That is a very good point. Obviously, the real cartridges had stickers applied to them, so I guess also, even if I put the sticker on wonky, that wouldn't be unrealistic, you know, because I imagine it was quite common to have cartridges that didn't have the stickers applied properly. So it's actually very realistic of them to make those the two stickers in the set. If you put it on wonky, it just adds a bit of authenticity, you know. I wouldn't feel too bad about sticking them on wonky in that case. I have mine and really want Pokemon cartridges. Honestly, Vic Centauri, I would love to make some custom cartridges. Like I was saying earlier, though, I think the cartridge itself, there are no really complicated or rare pieces in there. All of the pieces in the cartridge are really, really common. So I can imagine you could very easily make, you know, as many cartridges as you want and maybe get some custom stickers printed for them. I'd love to get, like, Oddworld Adventures, which is a Game Boy game that I do remember playing as a kid. It was a demake of Abe's Odyssey. I'd love to get one of those as a custom sticker and like make my own custom cartridge for that game. Like I say, I imagine it wouldn't be too difficult to do, really. Wonky for a Friday afternoon shift in the factory. Oh yeah, honestly, Big Popper, you got to imagine. Was it a manual? Like, was the sticker application manual? I've got to imagine some poor employee at Nintendo just spent their entire career putting stickers on game cartridges, and I'm sure they messed it up every now and then. Okay, there's a lot of these 1x3 jumper plates with the two tiles on top. I think those are the back of the Nintendo of the Game Boy, because it had like a kind of ribbed plastic back. I think that's what these are that we're putting together now. And we got our big bright green plate, which some of this seems quite flimsy, but I'm hoping that when it comes together, it will be quite strong, you know. A 68-year-old Japanese woman did all the stickers, says Big Popper. You could be right. I love Lego. It's so fun to build. Me too, Kat. I absolutely love doing Lego. I love doing it on stream, but I also, you know, I enjoy doing it in my free time as well. Every now and then I'll get a set and I'll think, I've got to build this on stream because this would be really fun to show my audience. But, you know, most of the time when I get a new set, I like to build it myself. I like to just, you know, put some music on or something, or put something on the telly and just sit there and it's like doing a jigsaw, you know, which I also love jigsaws. I've never tried building Lego, not sure if I'd enjoy it, says Tom. Honestly, if you are unsure about Lego, a good place to start, and I will recommend this to anyone, try the insect collection. Not the insect collection. Try the botanical collection, which is the flowers. They're so incredible. Even if you're not a fan of Lego, they're so accurate that they, you know, it's just like having a real bouquet of flowers. You know, I've got daffodils, chrysanthemum, plum blossom, bamboo, and an orchid, and they're so accurate, and they're so relaxing to build. Obviously, you know, there's none of the maintenance that you have with real flowers. You don't have to water them or anything like that. They're so cool. So if you're not sure about Lego, if you're not like super into Lego, but you want to give it a try, get something from the botanical collection. Get yourself a nice bouquet of flowers or a potted orchid or something like that, because they're such cool sets. Hey Saul, haven't seen one of these lives before from you. Very exciting. Thank you, Mason. This is only, I think, the fourth Lego building. No, the 5th Lego building stream we've done, because we did... The very first one I did was the Lego Minecraft crafting table. Then we did the creeper. We did the insect collection. We did the chrysanthemum. And now we're doing the Game Boy. So they're very rare. I don't do streams like this very often. But it's nice. It's nice once in a while to do something a bit different. Rather than being at my computer all the time, like I am in my other live streams, it's nice. I mean... Technically, I am still at my computer. I'm still sat at the same desk that I do my my regular gaming streams from. But you know what I mean. It's nice to change it up a bit. Hi, what are you building? We are currently building the Lego Nintendo Game Boy, the brand new Game Boy 72046. We're currently on bag 2. We're building the back of the Game Boy currently. This is the back of the console. Are there instructions? There are indeed, Mason. Here's the instructions. There we go. Oh, yeah, now we add the grills. So I was wondering why there were so many of these jumper plates on the back, but it's because we're about to cover the back in the little Lego grills. Like I say, it's to recreate the ribbed pattern on the back of the Game Boy. Just try and keep it where you can see it. Oh god, there's a lot of these as well. Like, a lot of these. Was it expensive, says Tom? It was $54.99, Tom, which I think is quite reasonable for a licensed set. The thing about Lego is the licensed sets always cost more than unlicensed sets. Like, if you're buying something like Lego City... that's going to be cheaper than Lego Star Wars because you're paying extra for the actual brand, you know? And obviously this is a Nintendo branded set, so that puts the price up a little bit. But I think it's very reasonable for what it is. Like I say, for a set like this, compared to other licensed sets like this, I was expecting it to cost somewhere more like $70. But $54.99, I think that's pretty good for what it is. Do you wear makeup, says DR? I do, DR, yes. I've got a little bit of foundation on, as you can probably tell at the minute, but nothing fancy. Not today. Okay, and then we have a huge printed element here, which is the back of the Game Boy. I guess there's not really any way to replicate stuff like this with, you know, brick building, so I can understand why they've used a printed element for this, and it's pretty nice as well. I don't know if the code is unique. I would have to do a bit of research on that. I don't know if the code is unique or if that's the exact same on all the printed elements. I imagine it's probably the same, but you never know. But anyway, good printed element there. Are the stickers manual or were they already on? These are all printed, Mason. There's actually only 2 stickers in the whole set, and therefore the game cartridges themselves. There's one here for The Legend of Zelda, and there's one we've already stuck on for Super Mario Land. But every other element in the set is printed. There's only those 2 stickers, which is... to get a set as big with this many pieces and only 2 stickers is pretty good. Why are you in a dress, says Lee? I'm not in a dress, Lee. I'm in a shirt and jeans. I prefer printed, says Mason. Me too. Like I say, I'm not great when it comes to putting on Lego stickers. I get why stickers, you know, sometimes stickers are a more sensible option than printed elements. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of them all the same. Can you wish WY a great time in America? I'm glad Pig is back safe. Yeah, sure. I don't know who WY is, but have a great time in America, I guess. Do you own just like girl clothes, or do you own some boy clothes as well? I do own some slightly more masculine items of clothing. I still have most of my pre-coming out wardrobe you know, in terms of shirts and jeans and stuff like that. I don't wear them very often these days. I tend to stick to the more feminine outfits now. But I do still own most of my older stuff. And from time to time, if I just want, you know, if I just want something a little bit more comfortable, I'll just throw on one of my old shirts or something. Sadly, got to leave because I'm a silly American and have to go to work. Bye-bye, Vixen Tory. Thank you for joining. What medication are you prescribed, says Nikki. I'm not prescribed any medication, Nick. I'm not on any medication, I promise you. Where's that? Where is that? Oh, there. What you building, says Motorfest. We're building the Lego GameBoy. We're currently building the back of it. Well, I guess this is one of the sides. Do you know Ray Pennybody? I don't, Alf. No. Oh, right. I see what you were trying to do there. No, I don't know anyone by that name. I don't think anyone by that name actually exists. Because I imagine if your surname was Pennybody, you would have more sense than to name your child Ray. I have the arcade machine one. Nice one, Motorfest. Nice one. Where am I up to now? Okay, this, again, it seems quite flimsy when you're putting together the sides, but I imagine it'll be quite strong when it comes together and it all, like, locks into place. So we'll see. How's the jumping spider? He's very good, Mason. I will hopefully show you him in a bit. He's been quite active today because it's a little bit sunnier. It's been quite cold recently, and obviously when the weather's cold, they're a bit slower, a bit more lethargic. But it's a nice sunny day today, and he's been a bit more his usual self. So maybe later, once we finish the Lego, I might take you over and show you how he's getting on. No computer gaming today. Not today, Nathan, no. We're taking a break from that today. Wait, that can't be right, because that doesn't... Ah, I see. There we go. I think... is that supposed to be the power button, I'm guessing? Like, it looks like from the shape of it, that's supposed to emulate the power button on the side. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. I don't know. It's been so long since I used an original Game Boy. I don't remember where any of the buttons actually are on it. Is that? Oh, like that. Okay. There we go. Starting to come together. Do you ever do multiplayer farm sim lobbies? I don't, Andrew, no. We did try having a multiplayer farming sim lobby on Hutan Pantai at the end of last year, but there just wasn't really enough demand to justify it, to be honest. I've said before, when it comes to multiplayer servers for games, I don't really want to spend money hosting a server unless I know that it's going to be used. Whereas with the farming sim one, pretty much people only went on the server when I was on the server, which I normally only did when I was streaming. So the server was pretty much dead most of the time, and I just didn't really feel like spending money on it to keep it running. You can do free ones, says Andrew. You can do 3-1s, yes, but it's they take a lot more setting up than paid ones, and I don't really have time to mess about with stuff like that, to be quite honest with you. Oh, that doesn't want to click in. There we go. Okay. And then one of these. Do you like building Star Wars and more fantasy builds? I do, Mason, yes. I currently don't have any Lego Star Wars. When I was a kid, I had a few sets, mostly from the prequels, because those were the sets that were like newest at the time. But in my current collection, I don't have any Lego Star Wars. I would love to get some. Like I said, it's been a long time since I last owned any Star Wars Lego. It would be great to get some more at some point. And okay, you can tell we're starting to build the inside now because all the different coloured pieces are starting to appear. All the green and yellow bits are starting to appear. That's how you know this is going to be the inside, because it's not going to be visible when it's done. I just do it where people can only join when I'm online. Seems to work fine if you have the right people. I guess that could work, Andrew. It might be something to consider in future. The thing is, the other thing with multiplayer servers as well for me is when I'm streaming, I don't want to be spending too much time like trying to manage the other players as well. You know what I mean? I just want to kind of do my own thing. And I feel like in a multiplayer farming sim server, I'd be spending too much time trying to organize what everyone's doing and stuff. Are you live on YouTube? Not today, Mason. Because this is a mobile stream, I can only do it on TikTok. Because I can't have TikTok and YouTube streaming at the same time on my phone. I do most of my streams on YouTube. Whenever I'm streaming on my computer, I'm always live on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. But whenever it's a mobile stream, it's just TikTok. Okay, where are we up to? So the sides are starting to come together now, as you can see. And there's the back view. There's a bit of a gap there, but the gap is deliberate. I don't know what it's for, but the gap is deliberate. I guess we'll find out as we build what the purpose of that is. It might be there just so that you can, when the set's fully built, so that you can like get your fingernail under there and pop the back off so that you can change the screens. But either way, there is a deliberate gap there. Okay, where are we up to? Okay, that way around. What do you have planned for the rest of the evening? Says Tom. I'm not sure today, Tom. I am working on a video, a very important video that's going to be coming out next week, next Wednesday. That I've put that on wrong. Yeah, I'm working on a video that's going to be coming out next Wednesday. No spoilers, but if you've been a long time viewer, you'll know that the 15th of October is a very important day for me. I'll say no more. You'll see next week when the video comes out, but I'm working on a very special video. So I'll probably be doing some more work on that this evening. I will also be doing a review for this set, but I don't know when it's going to be. Originally I wanted to try and get it done as soon as possible because it's a brand new set. I wanted to get a review out as early as I possibly could. But like I say, because I've got another video that I need to work on first, it might be a couple of weeks. But there will be a review of this set. There will be a review video coming at some point. When are you going to mod it to play games, says Marika. I don't have the talent for that, Marika. I really don't. I'm terrible with electronics. The most complex electronics I've ever done is with an Arduino. I did actually make a robot that played the piano while I was at uni using an Arduino and some servos. It was very, very primitive. But it was quite cool. It was like built into a cardboard box. Because obviously I didn't really have anything else to encase it in. So it was basically just a cardboard box with an Arduino and a load of servos in it. And you put it down on top of the piano and it actually pushed down on the keys and it could play a whole octave. That was the most complicated electronic device I've ever built. And that was like 6 years ago. Why are so many men becoming women these days? Genuine question, says Big Pete. I mean, men don't become women, Big Pete. That's not quite how it works. There are more people visibly identifying as trans these days. That is true, and I think that that's because of a broader general acceptance of trans people. It is a genuinely good question. I think this is why certain people have this idea that it's some kind of social contagion or everyone's suddenly trans these days. That's not it. I think the case is, in reality, people are just less afraid to be visible as trans people, because acceptance has kind of grown. Like, I think the same amount of trans people exist, but they're less afraid to hide it these days, and they're people are more comfortable to be trans in public, Anyway, back to it. Oh, this goes on here, right. Nezuko, my best friend is trans and I had the honor of being part of her journey since high school. That's so nice to hear, Nezuko. Thank you for being there for your friend. I've been very lucky in my transition. I've got a lot of very close friends who've been very, who've been there for me the whole way. I honestly don't think I would have. I don't think I'd be where I am today without my friends supporting me every step of the way. Hello, Maffy Jan. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well, Moo Boy. How are you? Nice Lego. Thank you, Ashton. We're currently building the Lego Nintendo Game Boy. We're still working on the back at the minute, but it's coming on quite nicely. You're so cool. Thank you, Moo Boy. Sorry if this comes across as rude, not trying to be. Do you think you would change your voice, says Anna. I don't. Right. Well, the thing is, Anna, I don't like my voice. I've never liked the sound of my own voice. Even before I knew that I was trans, I've always just absolutely hated the sound of my voice. And when I first came out, I was like, wow, I can finally do something about my voice because I can train it and I can get a more feminine voice. And then I just didn't do that. Voice training is a lot easier said than done. It's I think for some people it comes a lot more naturally. Like, some people have already got a voice that just naturally lends itself to a more feminine tone, whereas for some people it's not quite so easy. I think when you've got the starting point that I've got, voice training is not not a very easy thing to do. I would love to have a different voice. I would love to have a more feminine voice. But like I say, I mean, let's be perfectly blunt. It's not a good starting point. Like, my current voice is not a good place to be starting from. I'm not saying that to garner any sympathy or anything like that. I'm just being factual. It's not a great starting point. What you're building, says Joey. We are currently building the Lego Game Boy. Do you have a full-time job or is social media a full-time job, says Tom Baker. At the minute, Tom, I am between jobs. My most recent job was at a print shop as a graphic designer. So, designing like business cards, posters, brochures, stuff like that for local businesses, which was very, very fun, very great experience. It, gave me a lot of experience with graphic design, which is sort of adjacent to what I want to be doing. I really want to be working in the game design industry. I have a degree in computer science. So it was a good experience. It sort of, it helped me out a little bit in that journey. But it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I'm still not doing what I want to be doing, but I am looking to get into the game design industry. That's really where I want to be. Oh, hang on. I think this is the thing that fills the gap at the back here. Okay. Right. Weird. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. It's just kind of like a little block that slots into that gap. I don't know why that couldn't have been built in. We might see. I guess we might see as we continue. You'd be so good at game design. Thank you, Moo Boy. I do try to keep my game design skills sharp. You know, I haven't ever like publicly released any games, but I do still like, you know, work on prototypes and stuff like that in my spare time just to keep my skills sharp and make sure that I still know what I'm doing. And at the minute, I'm working on a mod for Train Simulator, so I'll be doing a lot of 3D modeling in Blender. I think modding is a good way to keep game development skills sharp, you know? Obviously, there's a big difference between making a mod and making a game, but there's similarities as well. And I think if you are, you know, looking to get into the game development industry, modding is a good place to start. And like I say, I do a lot of modeling in Blender. Blender's my preferred. When I was at university, we learned how to model in 3ds Max, which I absolutely hate. But after university, I learned Blender instead, and Blender is just so much better. I'm definitely a Blender defender, as it were. Love Blender. Okay. My partner wants to make a Sonic speedrun game. Oh, interesting, Moo Boy. I think, you know, if you've got a good idea for a game and you've got enough determination, you can bring it together. The thing is, it's a very, very, very competitive market these days, you know. And by competitive market, I mean there's like 5 studios that have got trillions of dollars and they just completely dominate the entire market and nobody else has a chance. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it is in the games industry these days. And I think what's tragic is that that bigger studios are held to a different standard to smaller studios. Like, if you're an indie game developer and you're trying to release an indie game, you have to pour in so much time and effort. It has to be absolutely perfect. And even then, the chances of it actually becoming a success are so tiny. Whereas you have these huge AAA studios that just throw millions of dollars at games that are released in an unplayable condition. They're unfinished. They're full of bugs. They clearly haven't been properly play tested. And they just do that, but they've got enough money to do that and just release like 20 of these pieces of shit a year. You know what I mean? I think... I guess it's the same in any business, you know. There's always the people at the bottom who are really putting in a lot of time and effort, and then the people at the top who are just throwing money at it and churning out, you know, piece after shit after, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. That's kind of how it goes. 1 second. Oh, I think we're on to bag 3. Okay, there's quite a lot of spares in this bag. Quite a few spares, so I will put them to one side. But we have so far built quite a significant portion of the back. I'm guessing bag 3 is where we're going to start getting to the front. Only the profit seems to count these days, says Tom. Honestly, you're not wrong, Tom. You're not wrong. Like I say, I just think... It's so baffling to me that like releasing unfinished games has become the standard. Like every single AAA studio these days release games that are just categorically not finished, and everyone just has to go along with it. Like no one likes it, nobody's okay with it, but we can't do anything about it. We can't, you know, the only real way to change it is to vote with your wallet, as it were, and just not pay these developers. But of course, these are like AAA developers. These are like multi-billion-dollar companies. They know that there's never going to be a boycott big enough to actually do any harm to them. So they can just keep churning out these shit games that are unfinished, that are full of bugs. They can just churn out 5-10 of these games a year, and they know that nobody can really do anything about it. Nobody can really hold them to a higher standard. We kind of just have to put up with what we get, you know, which is a shame. There's a little box here, by the way. Back to the set. There's a little box here that contains a single rubber band. So I'm not sure what that's for, but a whole cardboard box there for that one rubber band. Little bit wasteful, I've got to say. Tiny bit wasteful, but there it is. And there's also 2 mini bags in this one. And there's also some printed elements. We got a Nintendo Game Boy piece there. We've got the little grills on the bottom right of the build. Quite a few interesting bits and bobs here. So let's see what's in the mini bags and then start putting this one together. What you're building says Riley. We are currently building the Lego Game Boy, the brand new Game Boy set 72046. Here it is so far. We built the back, but not the front yet. What's your favourite food, says Tom? At the minute, Tom, I've been quite big on Italian food. When I say Italian food, I mean like the English version of Italian food. But I love doing like bolognese, lasagna, stuff like that. When it's getting to that time of year where you kind of want something that's gonna warm you up a bit, and something that's also quite healthy. So, you know, for me personally, nothing beats a homemade lasagna with plenty of veg in it, you know, onions, tomatoes, peppers. Love a good lasagna. Okay, there we go. Broke out the slow cooker already. Nice one, Doc Lancer. I love a nice slow cooked stew as well. Like I say, especially it's getting to that time of year now. A nice, warm, home cooked meal. It's the perfect time for it, you know. Okay, those are these. Interesting. Cottage pie is the one, says Pie Pop. I love a good cottage pie as well. I'm a big pie fan. My favourite pie, I would say steak and ale. I love steak and ale. But I like any pie. I like chicken. I like steak and kidney. You know, I like cottage pie. I like fish pie. I love fish pie. But I think steak and ale is my favourite. I'm building the Disney Up house. Nice one, Riley. Are you from England? I am, Shane. Yes, I am from Harrogate in North Yorkshire. Although I currently live in Doncaster in South Yorkshire. I've lived here pretty much my entire life. Fish pie is so expensive to make, I find, says Pie Pops. It is, yeah. I think fish in general can get quite pricey, is the thing. Do you drink alcohol, says Tom? I do, Tom, yeah. I have the occasional drink. My drink of choice is cider, because I went to university in Bath, which is, you know, near Somerset, cider country. So the first time in my life that I ever really drank on a somewhat regular basis was when I was at university. And that's how I really got into drinking cider. Most of my family are beer drinkers. My dad prefers beer. My mum prefers beer. But yeah, I got into cider while I was at university, and I've always just been a cider person ever since. What did you study at university? I studied game design. The specific name of the course was Creative Computing, brackets, gaming, but basically game design, computer science. That was at Bath Spa University. I was there from 2017 till 2020. Fish pie just fish, or does it have other stuff? It's kind of like cottage pie, Riley, where it's like a bed of fish and then potato on top. Again, like with a shepherd's pie or cottage pie, you have the mince at the bottom and then the mashed potatoes on top. Fish pie is basically the same thing, but with fish at the bottom. I think it's usually haddock, I want to say. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been a while since I had fish pie, to be honest. What are you building? We are currently building the Game Boy set 72046. We're currently working on the inside, actually. We've done the back. We're now working on all the inside gubbins. This bag's a bit bigger than the others. What was the reason for going to uni, says Ollie? That's a good question, Ollie. To be quite honest, the reason that I went... well, I've said before that after I finished secondary school, once I finished sixth form, I had a few options, and I did consider going to agricultural college because I've always been interested in farming, and I did consider taking that route. And it's always weird to tell people like I could have gone to agricultural college, but I went to university instead because it's like such a different direction. Like I could have been a farmer, but I decided to become a game developer instead. But I don't know. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to work in the game dev industry. I thought a degree in game design would help to would be a good step towards that. So I ended up going to university. But like I say, it could have so easily gone the other way. I could have ended up going to agricultural college instead, and maybe I would maybe right now I'd be working on a farm. Who knows? Like I say, it's just it's always crazy to me that that my life could have gone in such a different direction. But I'm happy with the way it went, if TikTok or YouTube gets any more in another 4 years, would you do it at least part time? I mean, I'd like to keep doing this. I don't know if I'd ever make a success of it. I don't know if it'd ever be something that is successful enough for me to make a living just from this. But even if I never make a living from it, it's nice to do it. I'd still do it just for the fun of it. Because I do enjoy doing this. I do enjoy this content. I enjoy what I do on TikTok and YouTube. I'm very proud of some of the videos that I've put out, especially my Peak District videos, which if you haven't seen those, genuinely please do check them out. They're quite long. My most recent one was half an hour long, which is very long for a TikTok video. But I'm so proud of those. I've put so much time and effort into those. I'm very, very very happy with those. Like I say, there is a lot of stuff that I've done on TikTok that I am genuinely very proud of. A lot of people would have given up by now, but it's amazing that you haven't given up. Honestly, the reason that I keep doing one sec, I'm just going to turn the big light on because the sun's starting to go in. Probably won't make much difference, but we'll see. Yeah, the reason that I keep doing this is because I really do enjoy the fact that I'm reaching people and connecting with people. I've always said one of the main reasons that I do TikTok is because I am a trans person, and I think in this day and age, trans people, there's a lot of attitudes towards trans people, some positive, some negative. I just think at a time like this, it's very important for trans people to be visible. It's very important for me to show who I am and to show people who I am and to show that, yes, I am transgender, but that's a small part of who I am. There's a lot more to me than that. And I just think it's nice to be able to educate people and to help people to understand who I am. Again, not just as a trans person, but in general. And like I say, the reason that I keep doing it is because I enjoy reaching people and helping people to understand a little bit better. Anywho, I'm not sure what this is at the back. It kind of looks like a PCB, but made of Lego. But that doesn't even click into place. It just kind of slots into place at the back there. Do you make much money from TikTok as it is now, says Tom Baker? I make a little bit. People do send me donations. I get little gifts on stream. Usually it's somewhere in the region of like 50 pence a stream. It's nothing major. But I do also get money from my Patreon supporters. There's my Patreon supporters. You can't see it because it's mirrored, but Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, and Marika. Those are my current Patreon supporters. Thank you very much, everyone on there, by the way. But yeah, I get a little bit of money from Patreon. It costs £1 a month if you want to become a Patreon supporter, and like I say, it does help me out. It gives me a little bit towards continuing to do what I do here on TikTok. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, I like I said earlier, I definitely don't make enough to like survive on doing this. Maybe one day. But at the minute, it's just kind of something that's just a little bit of fun, and maybe it'll go somewhere bigger eventually. Who knows? I sent you gifts for try and help you out with saving up for a new steering wheel. I don't know if that helps. It does, Draydog, honestly. A new steering wheel is definitely something that I want quite soon. I've been saying that pretty much since I started streaming. I've been saying I'm going to get a new steering wheel soon. But I really, really do want to get a new steering wheel soon. This one here, it's good, but it's old. It's showing its age. It's on its last legs, if truth be told. I do want to get a new one. And I'm thinking maybe in the new year it's going to be time to finally bite the bullet and say, you know what, I'm going to get a new steering wheel. So any donations, rest assured, would probably go towards that. But no pressure. Thank you for the rose, by the way, Tom. That's very, very kind of you. This one. Get the Moser, says Henry. I think I'm going to get... I've pretty much already decided what my next steering wheel is going to be. It's going to be the Thrustmaster T248, which is £270, I believe. The reason I want to get that wheel is because it comes with a conversion kit, so you can use it as a racing wheel or a trucking wheel. The problem with my current wheel is that it's designed for trucking, which is alright if you play in a trucking game, but if you play in a racing game, it's not really suitable, But then if I bought a racing wheel, I'd have the opposite problem, where it'd be good for racing games, but it wouldn't be very good for heavy-duty games like Farming Sim and Euro Truck. So I think the Thrustmaster is going to be the best option for me because, again, it's kind of you can use it as both. You can use it as a trucking wheel and as a racing wheel. So it's a bit more versatile. Thanks for the roses again, Tom Baker. That's very kind of you. Oh, I see what this is. Okay, we're about to put on some printed elements. So we have the select and start buttons. They're these little 1x2 wedge slopes, but they have the actual text printed on the side. You won't be able to read it because it's mirrored, but this one says start and this one says select. Again, very, very much appreciate the printed elements. I like that a lot. Pop those into place. There they are. What's your favourite Lego genre? Says Ernest Beef. My favourite genre at the minute is the Botanical Collection. I've got 5 sets. I've got 6 sets from the Botanical Collection, if you count this one, the tiny little desert garden, which I bought just a few days ago. But I've also got the Chrysanthemum, Plum Blossom, Bamboo, Mini Orchid, and Daffodils. I absolutely love that range. Like I said earlier, I love that they're so accurate. They look just like real flowers, but you don't need to water them or, keep them alive like you do with real flowers. They're never going to die. They're never going to wilt because they're made of plastic. I really, really love the Botanical Collection. I think it's a really, really cool range. Thank you once again for the roses, Tom. don't send too many, please. I feel bad taking that many gifts, but it is appreciated. Is that right? Yes, it is. This is a weird little assembly coming together. Oh, I've just realised what this is. This is the D-pad. I think this is designed so that when you put the actual D-pad in, it can actually move around a little bit, like the real thing. Like you can actually press it down, which is really cool because there's a little rubber piece in the middle there. So I think it's designed so you can actually press the buttons down. That's really cool. That is really cool. How much did these Legos cost? This set is $54.99 STFC. Okay, where was I? And this... Hello, lady. Hello, Ewan. How are you doing? Okay, we've got another printed element, which is the headphone jack. It says phones on it. And the headphone jack is represented as just a little arch piece with a little... It has actually got a stud inside. You can't see it very well on stream, but there's actually a stud in the hole, so it does look like a real headphone jack, which is pretty cool. Will you still be doing Trucking Tuesday tomorrow as you live today? I will, STFC, yes. There will still be a Euro Truck stream tomorrow, don't worry. I didn't want to cancel that because it's been so long since we last successfully did a Euro Truck stream. I've had to cancel the last 2 in a row. But tomorrow there will be a Euro Truck Sim stream unless I have a heart attack or get struck by lightning, which is unlikely. Why you hit a dress on mush, says Potato Head. Not a dress, Potato Head. It is, in fact, a shirt. You're not the first person today to make that mistake, don't worry. Okay, this goes there. Yes, okay. What are you making? We are making the Lego Game Boy. We've done the back, and we're currently working on the front. We're on bag 3, so we're about halfway through the set at the minute. I have to say as well, some interesting building techniques going on here. Obviously, a lot of snot. If you're not familiar with Lego, snot stands for studs not on top. So basically any elements where the studs are facing at different angles, that's called snot. There's a lot of it on this set because it's got to have like no visible studs. So every single side has got to be nice and smooth and flat. So there's a lot of those snot elements going on here, which I do appreciate. How many pieces are there? This set has 421 pieces, STFC. Which means it's an average of about 13 pence a brick, which is not bad, not bad. I think the average across all Lego sets is about 10 pence a brick. So it's a little bit more expensive if you just go by average piece price per piece, which is not really a good measure for Lego sets anyway. But, you know, if you do want to measure it that way, it's a little bit more expensive than average. But again, it is a branded set, it is a licensed set, and you are paying that extra money for the license. And I think £54 for an officially licensed Nintendo Lego Nintendo Game Boy, I think that's reasonable. I think that is very reasonable for a Lego set. I mean, compare that to not to start any arguments, but compare that to the Death Star that's just been released that costs £900. Yes, it's the biggest Lego set ever, but it's also the most expensive Lego set ever. As I think it's the most expensive set ever. I could be wrong on that. I don't want to start any arguments about it, But suffice to say, I'm not going to be buying it. I'm not going to be paying £900 for a Lego set anytime soon. Okay, and that goes there. That sit smooth. Yes, it does. Good. And oh, we're finally putting on the Game Boy tile, the one that has the actual Game Boy logo on it. What Lego set have you got? Says Tori. It's the Game Boy, Tori. It's the brand new, it just released last week. It's the brand new Lego Game Boy 72046. I pre-ordered it. It arrived on Saturday, and now we're putting it together. We're about halfway through. What's the most you spent on a Lego set, and what's the max you would spend on one? The most expensive set I currently own is the Insect Collection, which was £80. I honestly don't think I'd spend more than £100. There are no sets that I want that cost more than £100. All the sets that I've currently got my eye on are less than £100. I would be willing to go higher. I'd be willing to go 150 or maybe even 200 if it was the right set. But generally speaking, I wouldn't spend more than 100, to be quite honest. Most of the sets that I want to get cost less than 100. Okay, we're putting on the D-pad now. This is exciting. Here we go. Okay, so, like I said earlier, the way this is designed, when we put the D-pad in, there we go. It doesn't actually click into place. It just kind of rests there. But then we're going to put some bricks around it to lock it into place. So you'll actually be able to press it down like the actual D-pad on the real thing, which is really cool. I love that. I love that little bit of functionality. Adds a little bit more realism to the build, which I always appreciate. I think we're just going to lock it into place now, and then I can show you it actually in action. Genuine question, what's the hype with Lego sets? Why do people spend so much on them, says Sienna. For me personally, like I said earlier, for me, Lego is like doing a jigsaw, you know? As someone who really enjoys doing jigsaws, I think Lego is in the same kind of vein, like... And maybe something like Airfix or something like that as well, you know? It's fun to actually build the model and see it come together and see it turn into what it's supposed to be. And obviously, you can be creative as well. You can design your own stuff, and I've got a few of my own designs around the room that I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, for me personally, it's like building an Airfix model. It's like building a model aeroplane or doing a jigsaw. It's so much fun, and it's so satisfying to see it come together, you know? Anyway, here is the finished D-pad, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see that on stream, but you can actually press it down. You can actually press the buttons like the real thing. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. I like that a lot. Okay, I think we're doing the A and B buttons as well. And I think these are also going to be pressable. There we go. Now, these are interesting. I have never seen these before. They're kind of bigger than a stud, but they're smaller than a 2x2. They're a very, very awkward sized brick. I don't know if these are unique for this set, but I've never seen them before. These are definitely unique for the set. These are exactly the same size and shape as the actual A and B buttons. So these are designed just for this set, and they're very accurate to the real thing. Ah, I see. Oh, okay, look at that. Interesting, interesting. So it does look like these are going to actually be pressable. There we go, there's the second one. Which actually, it actually seems to be a slightly different shape. I think that might be a misprint or something, like a mismold. No. They are actually, they're not symmetrical. That's really weird. They look symmetrical, but then when you look closer, they're actually slightly differently shaped on one side. They've got a bit of a slope on one side. I don't know if that's realistic. I imagine it's probably accurate to the real thing. But they are pressable. You can press those down as well, which is nice. Sorry about the lighting, by the way. It's starting to, the sun's starting to set, so the lighting might be all over the place. There. You got some juicy arm veins, bet your doctor loves you, says what? Yeah, I do have some quite visible veins there. That's because I'm underweight. But actually, I haven't been to the doctors in, God, I don't know, like fucking 5 years. I'm very healthy. I might not look it because I'm very skinny, but I'm a very healthy person. I very rarely get ill or anything like that. Honestly, I think the last time I went to the doctors was when I got my COVID jabs 5 years ago. So there you go. That gives you some idea of how healthy I am. Not to brag, but I'm kind of healthy. Oh, this is where the rubber band comes in. Interesting. I've also done this the wrong way around. Hang on. Ah, okay. No, I've done it again. There we go. I accidentally put the buttons in the wrong way around, so they would have been inside the build instead of facing up like they should be, but I fixed it now, don't worry. And here's where the rubber band comes in. So I'm guessing the purpose of the rubber bands is so that when you push the buttons down, they like spring back up again. Which that one doesn't seem to actually be doing. Maybe once they're in place, we'll see how that works once they're in place. Hey Ollie, how you doing? We got another printed element. This one's got the letter A on it to mark the A button. And any gaming tonight? Not today, Max. No, just the Lego for today. Okay, now I can see the vision now. I can see it coming together. So that whole thing now clips into here. There we go. And just like that, now it's starting to look like a Game Boy. Now I'm really starting to see it. And the buttons do actually spring back up. Look. That's really cool. I love that. Okay. Yeah, click that into place. What's next? Nothing but LGBTQ and Muslims in the UK now, says Rick Subler. I know, it's great, isn't it? Okay, so this bit is going to be the bottom corner. If you've never seen the Game Boy before, the bottom right corner has a bigger curve than the bottom left. So there's quite a big curved element here that's going to go on the bottom right there. We're better for it, says Tori. I couldn't agree more, Tori. I couldn't agree more. Okay, so then there's quite a lot of spares in this bag as well. I think we're coming to the end of this bag, and it seems there's quite a few spares again. This now clicks into the bottom corner here, like that. That is cool. That is seriously... I'm starting to see it now. I am starting to see it. It's... I didn't realise how big the Game Boy was, because from what I've heard, this is very, very accurate to the real Game Boy. Like, the dimensions are almost exact. I didn't realise it was this big. But again, I've never actually owned the original Game Boy. I had the Game Boy Advance, which was a lot smaller. Yeah, I didn't realise how big this was. But like I say, from what I've heard, this is pretty much life-size. And it's really cool to start to see the bottom half come together now. Hey, Elevate Up Consulting, how you doing? Hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day, thank you very much. How are you doing? Okay, there's one more little bit to go on this side here, and then I think we're on to bag number 4. So that goes there. That completes the bottom of the build as well, which is, again, looking very good. Oh, then there's a bit here. Oh, wait, hang on. One of these first. Long green strip. Little yellow stud. Then this strip. How long's that took you, says Dave? We've been live for about 90 minutes, Dave. I think we started building about 15 minutes in, so we've been building for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Obviously, I have been talking throughout most of it, so I haven't been building quite as quick as I would if I was, just building on my own in my own time. But yeah, we've made pretty good progress. Okay, then these little things, I actually think these are tyres that have been recolored, because they are made of foam and they are a little bit, well, they are made of rubber and a little bit squishy. I think these are actual Lego tyres, but recolored grey. And they kind of slot into these gaps here to form the start and select buttons. Which, again, really cool effect, and it really does look like the buttons on the real thing. Very, very cool. Very cool. And that is the end of bag 3. You sound like Stampy, says Harley. Thank you, Harley. I have been told before that I sound like Stampy. I'm a big Stampy fan, so I'll take it as a compliment. But anyway, we're now on to bag number 4. Let's do it. Okay, bag 4 has one smaller bag inside. It's also got the transparent front in it, which is actually scratched. Wow, that's I don't know how well you'll see that on stream, but that's actually really badly scratched. This is a brand new Like, this is brand... I've just opened the bag. This is a brand new piece. And it's got, like, quite a lot of scratches on it. Which I'm not not very happy with that, actually. Hopefully they won't be too noticeable once it's come together, but that is wild. This is literally a brand new set. Like, this has been printed and put straight in the bag, and somehow it's got a load of scratches on it. Not much we can do about it now. Let's empty out the bag. How much was the set out of interest? This set was $54.99. There we go. Does it have a protective film on it that you peel off? Nope, not that I can find. Ooh, hold on. You might be right. When I'm looking up close to it, it does have a kind of. I don't want to scratch it anymore if that's the case. I don't think so. I can't feel one with my fingernail. If it does, I can't find it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, a few smaller pieces in this one. So this is, we're building the top half now, obviously including the screen. But there's what we got so far, so it's coming together nicely. Okay, we're building the two sides first. We're finishing off the top of the sides by the looks of it. So we need this and where's that? I can't find that. Oh, there it is. Okay, green. I might, 1 second. Just. There we go. That's a bit better. I've put my LED light on, my big strip light. I can just find somewhere for it to stand. There we go. You can see the actual Lego a bit better now. That's a lot more like it. Oh, that's printed. Whoops. I nearly put one of the printed pieces inside by mistake. Okay, that clips on here, bizarrely, like that. Not sure what the purpose of that is. Is this the largest model you've bought? No, Draydog. I think the largest model is probably the Insect Collection, although technically that was 3 separate builds. This might be the biggest, like, single piece. Actually, no, the Vespa. The Vespa's bigger. I'll show you the Vespa later, but that's way bigger. I completely forgot about that. Okay, a few more printed elements coming up now. We've got the on-off switch, this long one here. And then we also have the the dot matrix text above. It says dot matrix with stereo sound. One piece says dot matrix with. No, one piece says dot matrix with stereo, and then the other piece says just sound. But obviously they go with each other. Like this. I bought all the botanicals range, and they're stunning. The bonsai tree's quite big. I love the botanicals, Tori. Yeah, love the botanicals. Like I say, I've got the daffodils, the chrysanthemum, plum blossom, bamboo, and mini orchid. And they're all absolutely fantastic sets. I think, genuinely, I think that is probably one of the best ranges LEGO have done in recent years. They're just absolutely stunning. Okay. I've been wanting to get the 11th Doctor TARDIS Lego, says Draydog. That would be cool, Draydog. I wish there was more Doctor Who Lego. I think it's wild that a show as old as Doctor Who and a toy as old as Lego. I think it's incredible that there hasn't been more Lego Doctor Who by now. Because there's so much potential there, right? You could build so many spaceships. You could build different TARDIS interiors. You could build like a Dalek. A Lego Dalek would be insane. Lego, please do a Dalek. That would be so cool. And like I say, it's a shame that there isn't much Lego Doctor Who out there. And in fact, there wasn't any Doctor Who Lego until Lego Dimensions, right? That was when Lego Doctor Who first became a thing, and it's just still such a rarity. Okay, this is coming together nicely now, by the way. This is the top of the Game Boy. Doctor Who fans are uncertain of the show's future. That's very true, Draydog, but when are they not, to be honest? I think... I don't know. I don't want to speculate on the current state of Doctor Who. What's going to happen next? Who's going to take over? When's the next series going to be? I really don't want to speculate, but I will just say, Doctor Who has been in worse places, right? Like, Doctor Who in 1989 was in a very bad place. I mean, it was cancelled. It wasn't cancelled, but it wasn't renewed, right? And it was effectively dead. But 16 years later, it came back. And in the meantime, there were comics, there were magazines, there were Big Finish audios. That's the thing for me, is even if the show itself stops, there's so much other media that's going to continue. Like, Big Finish is not going anywhere, right? The magazine's not going anywhere. These things are going to continue even if the show itself takes a break. So I'm really not too upset, even if the show takes 5 years away or 10 years away. If they just say, we're putting it on hold and we might bring it back one day in the future, I honestly wouldn't be too upset about that, because again, there's so much expanded media, there's so much other stuff outside of the TV show, not to mention the fact that the rest of the TV show is still there to watch. I mean, you can always go back and rewatch the classics, rewatch the new series. It's one of those shows for me that you can just watch again and again and again, and it never gets old, right? So even if this really is the end of Doctor Who, even if they never make another episode of Doctor Who again, it's okay, because there's so much other media out there. There's Big Finish, there's magazines, there's comics, there's books. There's just so much other content available outside of the show itself. Okay. This is the top. Oh, there's the front bit, sorry. And that goes on there. Ah, ooh, look at that. Okay, that is coming together very nicely now. I love... I'll show it to you later in a bit more detail, but I love the detail on the printed elements here. There's some real nice detail on that. You're not gaming today? We're building Lego today, UK DMB. That's why we're not gaming today. The creative Doctor Who had the idea of a female Doctor and also had the idea of reusing past Doctors. That's very true. That's very true, Draydog. I think... I could be wrong, but I think the earliest mention of the potential for a female Doctor was sort of around the time of the fourth or fifth Doctor, kind of sort of the mid 80s. The late 70s, early 80s was kind of when that idea first started to circulate. I don't know if it was really considered seriously back then, but you know, it's always something that's been talked about. There's always been the idea there that it could happen. And I love Jodie Whittaker. I absolutely love the 13th Doctor. Obviously, a very divisive time in the show's history. But I really liked Jodie Whittaker. I think maybe the writing let her down a bit. I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Chibnall's era. But there's some good episodes in there, and like I say, I think Jodie Whittaker herself did a fantastic job. I think she made a great Doctor. Hang on a minute. Okay, that way. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. Right. On the very bottom corner of this piece here, let me just read to you what it says on the corner of this piece. It says copyright 2018 Lego Group. This piece here was molded in 2018. No wonder it's covered in fucking scratches. This is not a new piece. This is not a new piece of Lego. This piece of Lego is 7 years old. They've given me a 7-year-old piece in this set. That's insane. No wonder it's covered in scratches. It's not a new piece. That's pre-COVID Lego, says Tasca. Literally. That's insane. Oh my god, I cannot believe that. They're saving on plastic, says Tory. Yeah, that is a reused piece. That is crazy. I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't have noticed if it didn't have scratches on it, but it's the scratches that made me, you know, suspicious. And then I've just looked at the bottom. It literally says copyright 2018. None of the other bricks, though, seem to be old. Which is... that's wild. That is wild. I'm not mad about it, but that's really bizarre to me that they've actually put an old piece in there. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to reuse pieces, you know, save on molding more. But maybe they could have checked that it wasn't covered in scratches first. That's all I'm saying. You know, just check your pieces for scratches if you're gonna put them into another set. Might just be a piece that doesn't get made much, not using a lot of sets. Yeah, that's probably the most likely explanation, you know. Again, I'm not mad about it. I don't really care. I know I'm just having a bit of a laugh. I'm not really bothered about them reusing pieces. It's just the fact that it's scratched annoyed me a little bit. They could have done a bit more quality control there. Make sure they didn't put any scratched bricks in. You know what I mean? But it's not a big deal, really. It's not the end of the world. Could have been worse. Could have got the old brittle brown. That's very true, Tazka. Oh, I'm aware of the infamous brittle brown. I've never had any, fortunately. I'm happy to say I've never had to suffer from the horrifying effects of brittle brown. Okay. So then that goes there. Okay, this is, so the screen's starting to come together now. And then these. Again, I do appreciate the snot elements. There is a lot of really creative snot techniques going on here. Like this piece here, for example, the studs are on the top there, but then when you put it in here, they're at this side. It's very, very creative what they're doing with the snot on this one. I like it. Okay, so that is now going to click in here. Hold on. I'm going to have to turn it round. There we go. The screen is in place. The screen is in place, and it's looking pretty damn good. I like it. What are the games it comes with? Mario and Zelda? Yes, it comes with... there's lenticular screens for Mario and Zelda, as well as this one that just has Nintendo on it. And there's also game cartridges for Zelda and Super Mario Land as well. Okay, we're nearly there. We're nearly there now, everybody. Sorry. So now we're just closing up this side here. Very cool. Thanks, Elevate Up Consulting. Oh, there's a little cog wheel to simulate the volume control. That's quite cool. I like that. Oh, that's just clicked back out of place. Yeah, we still haven't quite added all the pieces to lock it together yet, so it's still a little bit unstable. Is that it for that step? I think it is. Just built mine this weekend, compared it to my Game Boy, and they're literally the same size. Yes, so I've heard, Archie. I've heard that the size is very accurate. I don't have an original Game Boy, and I didn't realize how big they were until I've built this. This is huge. But from what I've heard, it is exactly the same size, which is really cool. It's amazing that they've managed to make it so close to the real thing. Because with Lego, you'd expect it to be a little bit out. You'd expect it to be a bit bigger than the real thing or a bit smaller than the real thing. But the fact that it's so close is really impressive. Okay, we're just sealing up the other side now. This one here. And then turn it around. This side. Oh, there's another slider. What's the slider on the other side for? Oh, one's for contrast. Okay, one's for volume and one's for contrast. I remember the DS, not the DS. I remember the Game Boy Advance had a brightness slider as well. Okay. And then this is really cool. The way that they achieve the curve here by having two bricks that lock together, that's really cool. That looks printed. That does not look like two separate bricks. That's so perfect how they fit together. Oh, nope. Ooh, nearly lost a piece there. Okay, I think that's it. I think it's finished now, apart from the screen. And to put the screen in, we just open up the back here. Oh, wait, yeah, we remove the back piece, and then this folds down, this little arm here, and then you slide in the screen that you want. We're going to obviously just put the standard Nintendo screen in it for now. Oh, that's cool. That is really, really cool. The only minor complaint is that there's nothing to actually cover the back of the screen. So when you look at the back there, you can see quite a big gap. I know obviously there is supposed to be a big slot in the back for the cartridge, but it's the fact that you can actually see the back of the screen from inside. It would be nice if there was a little bit of a cover to that. But all in all, very, very good. We're still not quite finished. We have got one more cartridge to build, but there it is. And look at that. The lenticular screen is so, so worth it. I just love the fact that they've managed to simulate the animation there. So cool. I love the lenticular effects. That's really, really good. Okay, that's the actual Game Boy itself done, but there is still one more bag, which I believe contains the stand and the second cartridge. So I'm going to pop that there for now. Hi Marika, how you doing? Thank you for the white roses. Okay, so yeah, we're building the stand now, which is very simple. We did it, Marika, we did. It's turned out so well as well. It is a really, really good looking thing. Okay, that's the stand. This goes on here like this. And that is perfect. It gives it the perfect angle for it to be displayed at. Look at that. That is good. That is absolutely beautiful. What an amazing looking set. I love it. I love it. Okay. There's still the cartridge to build, though, the second cartridge, which is The Legend of Zelda, so I'll just pop that together quickly. Now, if only it played games. If only. If only. Looks just like the one I got for Christmas with Castlevania 2 when I was a wee lass. Oh, honestly, I wish I did have one as a kid, because it would feel so much more nostalgic if I actually had owned one of these as a kid. Like I say, I never owned the original Game Boy, but I did have the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP. But yeah, it's still incredible to see it. It's still incredible to see it, because it's so accurate. I'm blown away by how accurate it is. It's absolutely incredible. Right. Okay. Bit before your time, says Charlie. Yeah, it kind of was, to be honest. I mean, you know, I'm only 26. That being said, I'm not from a particularly rich family. We were always a bit behind with consoles and stuff. We were always like a couple of generations behind the latest thing. But I never had an original Game Boy. I had the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP. But I was never fortunate enough to own the original Game Boy. Okay, there's the second cartridge. There's the first one, by the way, with Super Mario Land on it. I'm just going to put the sticker on this, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. And I'm going to try and match it as much as I can to the Mario sticker, like put it in the exact same spot. I was still rocking the PS2 in 2012, so you're not alone. Honestly, Class 313, I respect it. I respect it. I still have a PS1. It's not the same one that I had as a kid, but I still had a PS1 up until like the PS3 came out. The first brand new console that I got was the PS4. That was the first time in my life that I ever got the newest console. Was when the PS4 came out. Before that, I was always 1 or 2 generations behind. But there is The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, and there is Super Mario Land, also for the Game Boy. Very happy with both of those. Let's... I think the idea is that one of these goes into the Game Boy. So let's pop this in the back and see how they fit in. Look at that. That is cool. And it actually does click as well. Like, it actually does click into place, so it won't fall out or anything like that. I love that. That is really cool. Like I say, I think it's a shame that when it's in the back, you can't see the actual sticker. So I might modify the display stand so we can have both cartridges out. And maybe like make a blank one to go in it. Because I think it's a shame to have it displayed with one of the cartridges being hidden like that. But that's still really cool. Like I say, I imagine it wouldn't be too expensive to get the pieces to make more cartridges. So it'd be nice to like do some custom printed stickers and make some more games for it. That'd be really cool. Is that the one with the screen that you can change out to be Mario and Zelda? It is, yes. You can also change the screen. So at the minute, we've just got the standard Nintendo screen there, which is, I think, how I'm going to display it. But there are also 2 more lenticular screens. There's a Mario one there. You can see him jumping up and down. And there's a Zelda one here. You can see the birds on the horizon moving. And actually, I think the waves move a little bit as well, which is very cool. Love the lenticular effects on those. Really, really great decision by Lego to put that in there for a little bit of extra detail. But yeah, I'm going to click the Legend of Zelda into the back there. I'm going to put that on the stand, and that is the finished set. It's done. We finished it. So there's the Game Boy itself. There's one of the cartridges, and the other cartridge is in the back. Lenticular's my new word of the day, says Taro Fox. Oh, it's a good word. Good word, lenticular. I remember we were talking about Doctor Who earlier. I remember back when the Doctor Who annuals used to have lenticular covers. Like, you used to have the Doctor on it. It used to have, like, the TARDIS on it, and when you turned the cover of the book, it looked like the TARDIS was flying through the time vortex. Anything with a lenticular effect is so cool to look at. They're really, really cool. And yeah, just the fact, that's so cool. I mean, it's so cool. Look, it moves. It moves. How cool is that? It moves without any actual moving parts. I just love it. I love it. Okay. Anyway, I am going to move the camera back up to here. There we go. And I'm going to put my chair back up. There we go. So, there's the Game Boy. Once again, we got Legend of Zelda in the back there. And we also have Super Mario Land as a spare cartridge. I'm going to put these on display on this shelf here. Like that. And I'll probably put it at that angle, which it might look a bit silly being at that angle, but when, you know, obviously my computer's over here. So when I'm streaming, you'll see that in the background over my left shoulder. So I'll fiddle with that and make sure it's in the perfect spot, but that's where that's going to stay. I'll pop that up there as well. Just stick that there for now. But yeah, you can see I've also got my creeper on these shelves now and the space shuttle at the top. I'll probably change those around a little bit and, you know, get the perfect look. But yeah, I've got Lego all over now. Look, I've got my insect collection there. I've got these lot over here. I like it. I'm liking how it's all come together. This is an incredible set. This is really cool. I cannot wait to do a review video of this set. I absolutely will be doing a review video because it's such a good set. I've really enjoyed building it. It's been a lot of fun putting it together. It's such a good display piece. I mean, right, from here on the stream, that's just a Game Boy. That you cannot tell that that's made of Lego from this distance, right? That is literally just a Game Boy. I'm blown away by the accuracy. Like, if I was stood at the other side of my bedroom and I looked over at it, I would not be able to tell that was made of Lego. That's insane. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, that is the Lego building portion of the stream over with. We got quite a lot of paper recycling here. All of this. And only one plastic bag, which I do appreciate. Hopefully next time there'll be no plastic bags. There's still one, but I do appreciate that they're mostly paper now. Which makes the recycling a lot easier. There we go. And I'm gonna get my spares box to put the spare pieces in. There's quite a few of them. Mostly one by one, you know, little tiny bits and pieces like that. But I'll go and get my spares box for those now. Just give me a second. There we go. It's a quality street tin. A really old quality street tin. I found this in my granddad's house. I don't know how old it is, but like, I mean, look at it. It's pretty old. But that's this is what I keep my Lego spares in now. We'll pop those in there. There they all are. Quite a few of them. When are you next doing Farming Sim? Next Friday, Harley. So, before we finish up, we will... I might do a room tour. I might show you around the room because there have been a few changes. You know, especially a few new bits of Lego and stuff like that, which you will have seen if you watched my Lego tour video. But if not, and you want to see what's new, then stick around because we'll have a quick look around before I finish things up. Just tidying up the desk a little bit before we continue. Okay, there we go. So, once again, that is the Lego building portion of the stream over. But before we finish up, I'm going to take you for a quick look around the room and show you all the Lego and show you what's changed. And then we'll wrap things up, maybe do a quick Q&A, and then end it there. Okay, here we go. So, first things first, here's the Game Boy. And this is what it looks like the right way round, not mirrored. I think this is astonishing. I just cannot get over how accurate and detailed that is. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, just look at it. That's so good. That's so good. And even the cartridges, so accurate, so detailed. What a really, really cool piece of kit. That's a 1936 Quality Street tin, says Taro Fox. Really? Damn. That's how old this tin is. Wow. So this was probably like this probably belonged to one of my great-grandparents then. But yeah, I found this in my granddad's house a few years back, and now it's got my Lego spares in it. So thank you for letting me know how old that is. But anyway, back to the Lego. So there's the Game Boy, and there, of course, is the Creeper that we built a few months back. And on the top shelf, we've got our little space shuttle. How much was it, says Josh? This was $54.99, which I think is quite a reasonable price for a branded set, especially one as detailed and accurate as this. I mean, look at the side here. Look at all the printed elements. You got the contrast there. You've got the A and B buttons. Start and select, all printed elements. The battery there, the dot matrix with stereo sound, just so much detail. It is insane how much detail is packed into it. Does it work? It doesn't work unless you've got the technical know-how to add a PCB in there, which some people have done. I won't be making mine work. I don't have the expertise for that, but it is theoretically possible because it is the exact same size as the real thing. Like, the dimensions are perfect, so you can definitely convert it if you were so minded. But I'm not going to be doing that. Okay, and then before we finish up, I'll take you for a quick look around the room at some of the other Lego as well that you might not have seen yet. Over here, we've got the retro camera, which was in the latest Lego tour video. That's a really cool piece of kit, which I've had for a while now, but you don't see it in the live streams because it's like, you can't see it from where my webcam's positioned. But there's that. We've over here in front of the Patreon board, thanks Patreons, we've got a little botanical desert garden. That's really cool. I just bought that the other day. Really, really tiny set. It's only got 54 pieces, but there's loads of detail packed into that, so that's really cool. And then over here is all the usual stuff. We got the insect collection, obviously. We got the Kingfisher, TARDIS, Nostromo, crafting table, Lotus Avia, and the Vesper, which is my biggest Lego set currently. Really cool. That's the Lego Icons Vesper. Really great set. Even includes the little helmet and a little basket on the back. That's really nice. And then over here, we have a new shelf with some more Lego on it. We've got the race plane, the mini orchid. We got the marine chronometer. That's really cool as well. Nice little gift with purchase, that one. No, Lego reward, sorry. We got Robin's Nest, and we've got a face hugger, which is actually rebuilt from the Lego creator Bunny. Instructions by a guy called Dick and Tutu on Instagram. That's really cool. So obviously not an official Lego set, but it's made with the parts from an official Lego set. That's all the Lego I've got there. Then, obviously, on the wall, we've got the Tales of the Space Age, which you've probably seen before in a previous live stream. And on the top, we got the Wonders of the World. We got the Parthenon, the Al-Khazni, Taj Mahal, and the Great Wall of China. And that's pretty much it. Flip the camera back round. There we go. That's pretty much all the Lego. Just wanted to recap for anyone who's not seen the whole collection before. There are a few other bits and pieces that aren't in this room. There's some downstairs and, in other places around the house. But most of my stuff is on display here in my bedroom so that you can see it on my live streams and stuff. And that's most of it. So if you've not seen it before, now you've had the quick tour. With a bunny, says Tara Fox. Yeah, the set is built from the Cute Bunny. The set is literally called Cute Bunny. And I've made it into a facehugger. I think that's everything. Before we finish up, would anyone like to see the spider? I think he's about. I think he is about, if you want to see him briefly before we finish things up. Because you don't get much chance to see him. Everyone's always, show me the spider. Everyone wants to see the spider. Now would be a good opportunity. Let's go and see if we can find him, shall we? Okay. Oh, there he is. Hold on. Oh, hello, mate. I don't think we'll get a very good picture because of the sun. Hold on. Let me. I'm just going to draw this curtain. That's better. There we go. It still doesn't want to focus for some reason. Come on. It won't focus. It literally, TikTok won't focus on him. He's literally just a blob. He's just a little blob. If you move back and zoom in, let's try. Oh. No. Come on. Oh, hang on, hang on. No. Oh, there. I think that's the best we're going to get. It doesn't seem to want to focus any more than that. There he is. Hello, mate. Hello. Come on. No. I don't think he wants to today. Sometimes he will. Sometimes he likes to, walk onto my hand or whatever. But today, I think he's a bit shy. But there he is. That's this is Amber. This is my Phidippus Nikites jumping spider. He's probably about 8 months old. I've had him for 2 months, but he was obviously not newborn. No, he's not interested. Oh. He's so lovely, though. He's so, so lovely. Have a look at his bum. Bless him. Okay, I think we best leave him alone. He doesn't seem to want the attention today. So everyone say bye-bye. Oh, hold on. There he is. Oh, that's a much better shot. Okay, bye-bye. Everyone say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Amber. Thank you for featuring in my live stream. We'll see you later. Oh, he's such a cutie. He's absolutely lovely. He's very, very tiny. I think he's probably the smallest jumping spider that I've kept. But he's so cute. He's very active. Obviously, he was a bit shy right now, but normally he runs about all over the place. He's a very, very active guy. He's just so amazing. Okay, with that, I think that's everything. Unless anyone has any last-minute questions they want to get in, I will wrap the stream up here. Let me just turn that light off. There we go. But yeah, just to recap, today we built the new Lego Minecraft Game Boy, and there it is in all its glory. Let's get it down and have one last look at it before we finish up. There it is. There's the Game Boy. Very accurate. The buttons are all actually pressable, which is really cool. The screen has a lenticular effect on it, and you can even remove the game at the back. Right now it's got The Legend of Zelda in it. What a great set. Absolutely love it. There will be a review video for this coming in the next couple of weeks because I'm very thoroughly impressed with it, and I definitely want to get a video out about that. But that's what we built today. It is going to stay on our shelf here. And I'll try and make sure that it's visible in the next live stream, whatever that may be. I think it's Euro Truck tomorrow. Yeah, next stream's going to be Trucking Tuesday tomorrow. So like I say, unless anyone has any last minute questions, we will end things there. Thank you very much for joining. It's been a wonderful stream. It's been nice to do some Lego building for the first time in a while. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed, please do consider giving me a follow and, check out some of the links in my bio. You can join the Discord server and stuff like that if you're interested. And if you would like to support me financially, please do consider checking out my Patreon. That was my brother just going to the toilet, by the way. If you would like to support me financially, do consider checking out my Patreon. Thank you very, very much to... You can't read their names because it's mirrored, but thank you very much to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, and Marika. Thank you so, so much for supporting me on Patreon. If you want to get your name on this board, check out the link in my bio. It costs £1 a month. You get your name on the board, you get a shout out on stream, and you get access to behind-the-scenes content. So please do consider checking it out, and you'll be supporting me in what I do here on TikTok. So thank you once again, everyone on that board. Thank you so, so much for supporting me over there. It's very much appreciated. Okay, and with that, I think we are finished for today. So thank you once again for joining me. It's been wonderful. There'll be a review video of that coming at some point in the next couple of weeks. Next live stream is going to be Euro Truck on Tuesday. That is tomorrow, so join me for that. Then I'm also going to be live on Thursday for more Factorio and Saturday for Train Simulator. So join me for all of those or whichever ones you're interested in. I'll see you tomorrow for Euro Truck Simulator. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you all later.